Welcome to Detective Diaries, brought to you by Private Detectives Answers Investigation. If you are captivated by the art of deduction, the thrill of solving the unsolvable, or the enigmatic world of private investigation, you've just found your new favourite podcast. Detective Diaries is where secrets unravel and the truth is always a clue away. Presented by Private Detectives Answers Investigation. Each episode contains offbeat conversations about the real people involved in investigation.
At our office in Cannon Street, London, I've had time to sit with Adina Loliceru. Adina is a private detective, a fingerprint technician, and has worked in the UK, Europe, and further afield. Now 26, she has 8 years' experience. Her story, background, and experiences are unique and fascinating. Adina, what's it like sitting down in our office with a microphone? Adina, what hasn't just been heard is the argument we've just had about preparation and lack of preparation, because you said to me, I don't want to prepare, I just want to speak into a microphone. So, speak into a microphone.
Okay, so when it comes to preparing, I don't like when the preparation is done by someone else, because then, more often than not, they don't stick to the plan. And I don't like that.
So am I in trouble again?
But if there's no plan to begin with, then it doesn't matter.
So am I in trouble again?
No.
Oh, that makes a real change. Come on. Okay, right. You originally joined Answers Investigation for a 1 week work experience placement. I mean, that was years ago. What, 8 years ago? 8 years?
2017.
2007. Your memory is better than mine.
December, to be exact.
December. Do you remember the exact date?
No.
Okay. Got you. You've described that, these are your words, you've described that as life-changing. So what specifically happened during those first few days that convinced you to pursue the profession of private investigation?
Okay, so to start with, when I joined for my week experience, at that time, I only lived in the UK for 1 year and a half, around that. So my English was very limited. And to add on that is my understanding of English spoken with an English accent was even harder to understand.
Gotcha.
So when I started my work experience, basically I faked it till I made it. I didn't understand half of the things that were told to me. And yeah, going back on what was life-changing, I approached the week experience with, I'm going to say yes to whatever is offered me. Because I wouldn't say I was shy, I'm not sure. I'm introverted, but not necessarily shy, but I wanted to be courageous and try all the new things I can, no matter if I understand English or not. And that's what I've done. I remember exactly the first day we went to a convention, I don't know, with all these important lawyers, I think they were lawyers, and I had to network. And as I said, I could barely understand English, speak English, or knew anything about the company I was doing a work experience for. So it was a very interesting experience networking.
So how did you feel then?
Well, it's hard to remember that many years ago, but I felt out of place for sure. But again, I knew I am adaptable and I can learn very quickly.
If there's one thing that I would ever say about you, and I know this is echoed by colleagues, is that if anybody ever asks you to do something that is out of your comfort zone, and I know your comfort zone is very, very tight and very, very narrow, your immediate answer is to think about it for 3 seconds and just say, yes, fine. I mean, do you think that's fair? I've seen you leap into so many things that most people would just balk at doing.
That's because since becoming an adult, I realized nobody knows what they're doing.
True.
And the only way to learn how to do the things you don't know is to do them.
That's a good philosophy.
So that's why I just say yes.
So now, yeah, I don't know, that's always been our philosophy at work. It's just whatever it is, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can. You know, whether it's something that's t-shirt stuff that we've been there, seen it, done it, or whether it's something new and we need to learn very quickly. Wonderful attitude in life. Just say yes and find out. I mean, now you talk about not knowing English very well. I mean, your English is better than most people who live in England, I think, isn't it? I mean, I hear you always correcting people.
Well, that's after, I don't remember, 10 years, 9
10
years,
yeah.
having lived here, a university degree. So I must hope I know how to speak English now.
But you're trilingual. What 3 languages?
So I speak Romanian and Italian and English. And because I speak 2 Latin languages, actually, I do understand a fair bit of Spanish. I don't speak it a lot, but if I would live there for 3 months, I bet I would speak that as well.
So your ability to bridge cultural and linguistic gaps, I mean, do you think that's ever given you an edge in some of the things that we've worked in?
So I do think it plays an important part knowing how other cultures live, especially if you need to work in that specific country. And knowing the language is an extra advantage on top of that, because you can just blend in and say, yeah, I've always lived here. You don't stick out from any other people, or you can use the languages that they don't speak in that country to just get away from hard situation.
If you were to guess, I don't expect you to be able to calculate it, how many people's fingerprints do you think you've taken over the years?
Too many. I've touched too many hands.
Far too many hands?
I can look afar at people's hands and know if their fingerprints are easy to take or not, or if they have sweaty hands. I don't know if that's a good skill to have, but I have it.
The next station is Temple Exit for Somerset House.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Dina, well, you've worked in the UK, you've worked in Europe, you've worked in Romania, in France, even further afield in Singapore. You're multilingual. How does fieldwork differ when you move between such vastly different cultural environments?
It is obviously important, first of all, what is accepted in that certain countries. Because something that would be very normal in the UK may not be normal at all. For example, in Singapore, where everything is very strict. And if you just park your car somewhere for hours, it may be very suspicious to the local authorities there. And because there's a death penalty in Singapore.
I don't think it's a death penalty for parking the car.
I know, but I know the reason for parking the car, but I'm saying that to show how strict it is there.
Ah, I see. Did you like all the rules in Singapore?
Yes.
You like rules, don't you?
I like following the rules.
I know you like following the rules.
Even if that means waiting half an hour for a traffic light to turn green and there's no car on the street, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we remember. Just for anybody listening, this is the person who would not cross a road even though there was no car within 5 kilometres either way. Why would you not cross the road?
Because the light was red and you don't cross the road on red.
And that's important to you?
Yes.
How
in a country where there's a death penalty.
I don't think they shoot you for crossing the road either.
Did you try?
Okay, I've got a question for you. Okay. That adherence to rules, which, I mean, I've always understood is massively important to you, isn't it? Does that associate to the way that your brain singly focuses on the subject in hand? I mean, I've seen you stand on a street corner and stare at an office entranceway waiting for somebody to come out for hours, like a collie staring at a ball waiting to be kicked. Do you think that, I'm not trying to insult you, but do you think those two things go together? That focus and that regimentation of rules?
To a certain extent, yes.
What's a certain extent?
Because I do like following rules, and obviously I wouldn't do it as a hobby just to stare at the door for hours, but because that is my job, and maybe something very interesting will happen after 8 hours of watching a door. then of course I can focus on it, because that's the rule of the job. Focus on the target.
Do you think that makes you different?
Yes.
Does it make you unique?
Yes.
Okay, being unique, being different, how much of that is an advantage to the job you do?
Oh, to the job I do, I think it's a very big advantage, because it's unique. Not a lot of people can do it, so they don't have my skill set and my focus. But at the same time, living in a world where you're unique is not the easiest either.
Go on, I won't ask you to explain and expand on that, because you will probably poison my coffee or something later on. Okay, here's one for you. We were talking about this earlier. Out of all the things you've done, all the adventures you've had in the 8 years you've been with us, what's the best thing you've ever done?
I did do a lot of things, and a lot of interesting things, and a lot of peculiar things. But even though this may come as a shock to a lot of people, my most exciting job was just doing some research in the British Library and looking through old newspapers and looking for a specific person's name in a news article.
That talent is pretty advantageous to a lot of what you do, isn't it?
Yes, obviously with investigation you have to do a lot of research, and if you enjoy the process as well, then definitely.
That analytical brain of yours, have you got an example of some innovation that was used to analyse an investigation?
I suppose what comes to mind is when we did a reconstruction of a crime. And that happened because the family did not like the verdict of the police, which was accidental death. And they thought the ex-wife has killed the husband, ex-husband. So her recollection of events did not really make sense for the family, and it wouldn't make sense to anyone, honestly.
How did he die?
He died drowned because he did not like water and he didn't know how to swim. So he drowned in his home pool, I believe, if I remember well. And yeah, the wife just said, oh, he just fell and I didn't want to jump in the pool to save him because I was wearing contact lenses and I didn't want them to fall off my eyes. So why do we come in as private investigators? We had to reconstruct the crime scene, as you see it in movie probably. And so what we did, we needed some actors for the recreation of the crime. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you look at it, I was the perfect height that matched the ex-drowned husband. So in this case, I had to act like a drowned ex-husband man. But I didn't have the same weight, so I needed to wear a weighted vest. So everything would match perfectly.
So a weighted vest in what, a swimming pool?
Yeah, we did hire a whole swimming pool, so we could have the whole depth and length of the swimming pool, so we could try the same thing on different lengths because we weren't sure of the depth of the actual swimming pool that the death took place in.
Okay.
So in order to make sure we have the most accurate recollection of events, we tried doing what the wife said she did at different depths.
Was that out of your depths? Was it deeper than you?
I don't remember actually.
Yeah? So
I don't remember.
I mean, the deep end of the pool, can you swim in a 10, was it 10 kilograms, the best?
Yeah. I can't swim.
You can swim?
No, I can swim, but not as a lifeguard swim.
Okay.
With someone or something on me.
So just describe the scene. I mean, what, you're at the top of the pool? You're at the bottom of the pool?
So I'm at the bottom of the pool. Obviously, if
holding your breath.
Holding my breath, eyes closed, because I was wearing contact lenses, very important to note, and weighted down by the waiting vest.
Okay.
And then the second investigator...
How did you breathe?
I didn't breathe. I was drowning. I was acting like a man drowning.
Okay.
When I do a job, I do it 100%.
Okay.
Even if that means drowning.
So you were quite happy to drown that afternoon, were you? No?
Yeah. But I wasn't gonna drown because I'm a saxophone player.
Okay.
I was.
You play the saxophone?
I was. So at that time, my breath was very good.
You had a thing about the panpipes at one point, didn't you?
Yes.
You still got the panpipes?
I still have them.
Do you still play them?
I never played them, actually.
Why not? You still play saxophone?
I did a few times
Okay.
in the last year.
Okay.
3 to be exact.
3 in the last year. Adina, have you ever had to use a cover story while you've been working?
Yeah, definitely. Many cover stories.
Go on.
One that I can think of right now is the case we had in Singapore, being the illegitimate daughter of a minister in Russian government. I had to infiltrate myself into a company where the owner wanted to reach the Russian media. And to do so, I needed to show that I have contacts within Russia. And the contact we used was a minister in the Russian government, and I claimed to be his illegitimate daughter. And what went into that, I did a lot of research, I had the cover story, but obviously with all the lies that are told, the cover stories, they need to have a root in the truth. Otherwise, you're going to get confused and you won't remember what you said. So the only thing that we changed was that my father, which was the minister in Russian government, went to Romania for holiday, and he got with my mom, and then he had me. So, and now he wanted to have contact with me again, and we started talking like that. So that was the cover story I have used for the owner of this company in Singapore to accept me into an internship for her company.
Adina, when you're working on something that's a personal matter for somebody with a private client and it's a matrimonial or it's a relationship issue, what's your feelings about empathy for the client and getting to the truth of things?
Actually, this question has many layers, and I would be interested to hear the answer from someone that just came into this field as a private investigator. Daria, would you mind giving me your point of view on this question?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would assume that you need to approach the tone matters. So when you are dealing with a situation where you have to deliver some unfortunate news, you would probably have to approach it with a very sensitive tone. So instead of just sitting them down and revealing some harsh truths, which are going to be difficult to swallow, sort of sugarcoating it a little bit for them. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely. And would you do that if they ask for the information or if they didn't ask for the information to start with?
I think both. I think that you do need to sort of think about how you're delivering some bad news to anyone, whether or not they wanted to know or they didn't want to know, but especially if they didn't want to know in the first place, because you just find some stuff out that they might have never known in the first place, and they're not expecting some bad news, and just blowing it up in their face might be scary for them.
And what if the person in this scenario that is your friend is the cheater himself or herself? Would you be empathic towards your friend, which is the cheater in this scenario?
I don't think I would, and I know you said you wouldn't either for this sort of scenario. However, I still think, as a polite thing to do, still don't approach it with a very aggressive tone, but I wouldn't call that sympathy. I would call that basic politeness.
Mm-hmm. And what if the person you are giving this information to never asked for this information? Is that being empathic?
I think so. I think But how would you be the offender if you never even like asked for the...
No, for example, let's say my boyfriend is cheating on me and I don't know it, I don't care, like you don't know. I'm not even thinking about him cheating about me, and someone comes to me telling me, oh, your boyfriend is cheating on you, but I never asked, oh, can you find that out for me? Would that be empathic of you coming to tell me that information?
That I think probably would vary case by case, because information about being unloyal is quite a sensitive one, but I would want you to know, personally. Wouldn't you want to know if somebody was cheating on you?
Me personally, yes, I would.
I would, yeah.
I know a lot of people that would rather
just
not.
would rather not know. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I do think it's probably a case by case. If you do think the person can handle it, or if you think it's within their benefit of knowing, aka let's say they're planning their whole financial future with them, it would probably be within their interest to know, which I would think is probably sympathetic to tell them. It's case by case, I think.
So what you're saying is being empathic is just it depends on the way you deliver the message and your tone.
I think so. I don't think empathy should play a part in how you're investigating it in the first place, because if you already are biased and empathetic towards one side, you'll get caught up in sort of leading down a road that's not it. I honestly do think that you should be unbiased and very logical when you're approaching a case, but then what you do with the outcome, with the conclusions, should be sympathetic when you're actually dealing with the client.
Adina, give listeners something to look forward to. Tell us a little bit more.
I can talk about my work in Switzerland, in the middle of nowhere, where there's only the Alps and the snow and the cold weather. And it's me trying to track someone down.
For anyone listening, I have to say that interviewing Adina is a pleasure, but also an ordeal. So anybody listening, have sympathy for me. You cannot begin to comprehend the struggle.
But if you want to experience that yourself, you can meet me in person.
Thank you for listening to Detective Diaries. Tune in for the next episode.
Even a quiet side hustle can spiral into a full-blown reputational issue. Organisations that aren't prepared, they risk conflicts, loss of trust, and client concern. Listen to our podcast on moonlighting, where we discuss taking back control, setting clear rules, encouraging disclosure, and protecting your brand before it's too late.
Get involved. Detective Diaries is interactive, which involves you, the listener. Do you have a case you'd like discussed? A burning question about investigative life? Send an email to podcast@private-detectives.co.uk or reach out via social media. You may hear your story featured in an upcoming episode. Don't forget to leave your contact details. The email address is in the show notes.
That brings the curtain down on Season 2 of Detective Diaries. We've sifted through the evidence and followed the coldest trails, but some mysteries are only just beginning to unravel. Prepare yourselves for Season 3, where the search for the truth goes global. We're heading into the heart of Ljubljana and the shadowed peaks of Switzerland to tackle cases that defy explanation. We'll also be looking into the rear view of forensic history, profiling the godfather of modern detection, Eugène Francois Vidocq, and sitting down with the man who knows the mind of a liar better than anyone, Professor Ray Bull. The files are closing for now, but the next chapter is already being written. Until then, keep your eyes open and your evidence locked. We'll see you back here for Season 3. Until then, keep searching for the truth.
We hope you enjoyed today's podcast, brought to you by Answers Investigation and UK Fingerprint. If you've enjoyed our conversation and want to learn more about the fascinating world of investigations, be sure to check out Private Detectives Answers Investigation. Their experienced team offers a wide range of discreet and professional services, helping you find the answers you need with integrity and expertise. If you're interested in fingerprint analysis or require specialist fingerprint services, don't miss UK Fingerprint. As one of the leading fingerprint companies in the UK, they provide everything from identification to background checks, working with individuals, businesses, financial institutions, and gambling companies. To find out more, visit www.private-detectives.co.uk, that's a minus sign, and www.ukfingerprint.co.uk. These are your go-to resources for investigative solutions and fingerprint expertise. You can call their office on 020 7158 0332. Thanks once again for tuning in. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking the truth.